Hey guys, it's me, Daniella Monet, and we are in my bedroom today because it's a little intimate, really because I'm about to get a little intimate. This is where it all went down, right? So we have a lot of questions from you guys about my pregnancy, and I thought, why not just throw them all up in a video? I didn't actually read the questions. I don't know what I'm in for. I have a feeling you guys really went there. So we'll see how this goes. Anyways, before we get started, please just hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell because I need to know that we're really in this together. Here we go. Question number 1. Okay, what's your biggest fear about giving birth? All right. Let's get real here. My biggest fear about giving birth has nothing to do with me, actually, for the most part. Like, I know I'm gonna be in a lot of pain and it's gonna be what it is. I'm actually more fearful for what happens like afterwards. And I'm not talking about just like the stitching up and everything else that could very well happen. I'm talking about like him. He comes out. I just wanna make sure he's healthy. I can handle the mess downstairs and figure that one out on my own. Oh, that's a good one. Do you have stretch marks? So I haven't gotten any stretch marks on my actual stomach, ironically, which I thought I'd be prone to getting because I have them on my butt from workouts. I did get stretch marks on, is it this one? Yeah, I think it's like my right boob underneath. And at first I didn't know what I was looking at. I thought maybe they were just like veins. And then I realized, no, those are pretty little stretch marks. Some women find giving birth erotic. Do you think you will? That's a really, I hope, to be completely straight up, I really hope that that is the feeling that I have while I am in labor / giving birth. I can only hope. So far, I'd say the rumors are true, what people say, like there's a lot of blood flowing in that region. And truth be told, yeah, I can see how it could feel a little erotic just based off of how I've been feeling thus far. We'll leave it at that. I'm sure there's more questions in regards to what I was just touching on. No pun intended. What don't they tell you about being pregnant? Oh man, what if I don't feel like I knew a lot about the sleeping that I would have to like get used to. I know this sounds so subtle, but someone just asked me the other day, what are you most looking forward to post-pregnancy? And I said, sitting on the couch like a normal human being and laying on my damn back. How do you and Andrew still keep the romance alive? Oh, that one has been interesting. The romance changes during pregnancy. Straight up, it changes. It's like we find these moments where we bond over just the craziness that is bringing a child into the world. And I think every time he touches my belly and feels him move, he really realizes that. And I find that really romantic. I don't know if that's something that emulates romance per se, but the moments when he like connects with me and the baby, I just feel so warm in my heart. My favorite thing is to talk about what is to come with him, the baby. So those things make me feel romantic. Another one. Are you going to raise your baby vegan and why? Yes. I plan to raise Gio vegan. Well, there's a couple reasons. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was like, how incredibly awesome is that to be able to say that you were vegan since birth? Most babies are vegan for a long time. That is the truth. Most babies can't even digest animal protein. I don't even know when they could or when they adapt to. I so look forward to being able to cook for him and just feed him all kinds of just nutrient-rich, beautiful, balanced meals. That's my plan. Are you afraid your lady parts won't recover after giving birth? Well, when you put it that way, yes. They've never done that before. We'll find out. The best piece of advice that I've been given is to lubricate the region with, natural oils. There's this really wonderful thing. I haven't tried it yet. Plan to at some point in the near future, but it's called perineal massage. Oh, it's so exciting. You get in that region with some coconut oil or vitamin E oil or something natural and clean, and you lubricate the region, and you just hope that like your body is, you know, able to do this and be cool, calm, and collected, and everything will be fine. And if it's not, and things are different afterwards, guess what? You just pushed a human out of your vagina. What can I tell you? Are you afraid being a mom will hurt or hinder your career? Wow. I have some fears around that for sure. I have the fear of the mom guilt that I've heard other people talk about. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. No matter what, he's gonna be my priority. Being a mother comes first. But my career is kind of a huge part of my life, and it's who I am in so many ways. And I think, you know, having that is a really great way to show your child, I guess, you know, that there's more than just being your mom, and that like I want him to know that I have other endeavors and that I'm motivated, so that he can see that growing up. So I don't think it'll hinder my career at all, but I do think I'm gonna have to find that happy medium in balancing everything. Do you think breast milk is vegan? I certainly do think breast milk is vegan. I think my breast milk is made for my baby, much like a cow's breast milk is made for theirs. Imagine that. What were you most scared about when you found out about being pregnant? Whew, I don't know. I remember like finding out and being so excited, and I feel so lucky to be able to say that, because I know a lot of people, you know, find out and they have a lot of fears hit them. But I was ready, and it took me, you know, some time to get there. I always knew I wanted kids, but I think because I knew I was ready and we were ready, that nothing really scary hit me. It was just all a lot of just excitement at once. So I'm lucky. What do you want to teach your son about being a man? Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I can't say that I have the most experience about being a man, but I sure know what it's like to be with a really good man. And I think, you know, Andrew emulates this like strong guy who in so many ways has, you know, the brains and the focus and the drive, and he's just so trustworthy. I think like between the two of us, we're gonna just focus on making sure that Gio's a really kind person, and that's all that matters to me, you know? There's a couple more I don't know what I'm in for right now, but we're about to find out. Has being vegan helped or hurt your pregnancy? I'd say it's helped me a lot. I feel so vibrant. Like, I feel like I've broken so many of these like rules or stigmas I've heard about pregnancy. People, you know, they just say that you get a little tired or sluggish or, I don't know. Everyone has their own experience, but I think just because I put a lot of life into me, you know, nothing really died to be in my body. So I feel alive and I feel really lucky. Yes. I dreamt about him early on, okay? This was before I knew it was a boy. Like 100% knew it was a boy. And I remember seeing his face so vividly, and it was a trip. I was blown away that like I was having a full-on dream, and I mean, I was like all mommy it up. I was breastfeeding, I was changing diapers. It was like a full flash forward into the future, and I was in my first trimester at the time. So that was really exciting. I'm like so glad that I had that dream. So yeah, and he was cute. I think he looked like Andrew in my dream, but everyone seems to think he's gonna look like me, so I don't know, the verdict's out. Do you plan on eating your placenta? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I went back and forth. Initially, I thought, why not? Like, people say, you know, it could do wonders for yourself, and even if it is just like a placebo effect and it doesn't do anything for you, sometimes just that alone makes you feel like, you know, maybe you won't go through postpartum. But on the flip side of that, the placenta is kind of like the filter that filters out all the gunk. So I don't know exactly how I feel about like eating my placenta. And they have to cook it. Like, they have to cook it in a crock pot at a very high temperature. And I know when you cook things at a high temperature, it basically just kills half the nutrients that are in there anyways. So I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, maybe, maybe not. I'm kind of like indifferent. If someone were to say, here's your placenta, take this pill, I'd be like, all right. But I don't know if I'm gonna go through the work of doing it all. I'm curious if you would eat your own placenta. So comment down below with your thoughts. Let's figure this out together. Do Andrew, and this is a great question, I literally just had to look at it for 2 seconds. Do Andrew and you still have sex while being pregnant? Yes, we do. It is fascinating. It is a unique experience. I don't know. I feel like for the longest time, like when I started to get real round, I just sort of like threw my hands up and was like, forget it. Like, see ya in the next few months, bud. And then I went to my appointment and they were telling me that like it's actually really beneficial to continue having sex. And they said that basically, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go there. So basically, it like obviously loosens up the region, which is something you should probably want to happen if you're gonna stretch your vagina out to let a watermelon down. Aside from that, interesting enough, I didn't know this, semen, there's something in it. This is like pure magic, you guys, okay? There is something in semen that lubricates the, what is it called? The cervix? The cervix, okay? And then what happens is that cervix gets softened over time, and that is what enables it to open up, right? It's called effacement, okay? Look this stuff up, all right? If you're really curious about it, there's like levels of effacement, and when it's fully effaced, the baby can fully come out. In order to get it fully effaced, you have to like go through obviously contractions, and anyways, to speed that up, you just throw a little semen up there apparently, and that does wonders. So continuing to have sex to the best of my ability. How did you come up with Gio's name? Oh, I keep getting this question. So Gio, first of all, I'm Italian, and Giovanni, it's a very Italian name, but it's also a family name because my brother Mario, his middle name is Giovanni. And I wanted something shorter, so we were thinking Gio for short, no Giovanni, just because we didn't need to name him right after my brother's middle name. But also what's so cool is that Andrew's grandpa, his name is Garnet, but his whole life he went by G-E-E. And then with Andrew's last name being Gardner, there's just like a lot of G's in the world around us, and I just love it. I love it as a nickname, and Gio just seems like a really punchy, powerful name. What mistakes do you think that your parents have made raising children? Woohoo! Oh, let's start off by saying I had a really great childhood, relatively speaking. Like, beautiful life, tons of friends, family, love, support. You know, I wouldn't be here today without the childhood that I had. But I don't think my parents were a hundo right for each other. And the tricky thing about that is when you're raising a family, there's just like a lot of stresses, and there's money issues, and there's making big decisions, and there's being conscious enough to like raise a human being with like good morals and ethics and everything else. So I love them, and I think they did the best that they could, just like I'm gonna do the best that I can. But I think there's different things that I would do differently. I just want to be really present, and I want to make sure that I, you know, make good decisions on his behalf for as long as I can. Ultimately, your kid's going to come out the way that he is or she is. They all have their own little DNA and personalities, so you just have to manage all of that. But you know, I learned a lot from my parents, good and bad, and I think that'll hopefully take me far as a parent myself. What would you do differently on your next pregnancy? You know, it's funny, I don't think I would do very much differently at all, only because a lot of people on their first pregnancies tend to have a lot more reservations or fears, or they just kind of played a lot more safe. And I really feel like my pregnancy has seamlessly just slid into my life, and I've been able to just do, you know, the things that I'm used to doing. And I think my second pregnancy, I'll be that much more comfortable, you know, knowing what I've known through this pregnancy, you know? Yeah. Do you think you and Andrew will get married after having your baby? Oh, that's a really good question. People have been dying to know about this marriage situation between Andrew and I. So we've been together forever, 8 years, and I have mixed feelings about marriage. It's just never been that important to me. I really love like the dynamic that we have, and you know, we're both really present for the most part. Like, we try to deal with things the best that we can. I have a lot that I want to work on. He has a lot that he wants to work on. I just don't know like when marriage would ever feel like it was like time. I don't know how to explain that other than like it's never been a priority of mine. But on that same note, I've always said that if we did get married, I would want our family to be there. And by our family, I mean the kids that we have or the kid that we have to be there, because both of us came from divorced families with very similar stories. And I don't think either one of us saw like a super healthy relationship. And it's really important for me to raise a kid in a house with, you know, a healthy relationship. Like, I want them to see love, and I think them being at a wedding would be so epic and so special. And so that's my dream if I were to get married. TBD. Okay, so here's our last question. Do you worry that you will pass on some personality traits or something about yourself that you don't like? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I think, I mean, neither one of us are perfect, so I think we both worry about passing that on, because if you struggle with something, you obviously don't want your unborn child or born child to have those same struggles. I think, speaking for Andrew, one of the things I've heard him say many times throughout this pregnancy is that it's really important to him that he manages like anxiety for himself and also for myself. Like, he just doesn't want any anxiety to be going on while I'm pregnant. He just thinks that like that could trigger him or instill some sort of anxiety in him. And if that's something that you struggle with, which I know Andrew has struggled with in the past, and he manages pretty well, you just don't want that for your kid, you know? And for me, something that I struggle with and still struggle with is, and something I've gotten better at, so I will say that, but I struggle with like communicating in a productive manner. And I want him to be a strong, competent individual who doesn't have issues representing himself. And I think I learned that later in life, and I want him to come straight out of the gate ready to handle whatever he's supposed to handle. So yes, I am a little worried, but ultimately, like, you know, he has his own journey, and we all learn from our experiences and our personality traits, and we learn how to manage it all, and I think he'll have it down. All right, so that one was a little heavy. I'm gonna end on another one. Oh, can you touch your toes? Yes. I'm not even sure if I can touch my toes, to be honest. I'll try. Should we try? Okay, so if I do this, you guys have to do this, all right? So if everyone's on board to do this, put a thumbs up in the comments below, and I'm gonna look for them, all right? And I'm gonna follow up and see what your results were, because I'm 9 months pregnant and I'm about to touch my toes. Okay. Oh. Yay! I surprised myself. You know what? And on that note, guys, I really appreciate answering all these questions. I'm so glad that you guys sent them in. I didn't expect to get so nitty-gritty and deep with you, but you know what? That's what I want my channel to be like. I want to be honest and open, and I think it's so fun to have that connection with everyone and be able to relate on things that like maybe you don't hear people talk about. So thanks for watching. If you want me to do another video answering questions, I feel like I'm down. If you're down, comment below, leave some questions for me, and we'll do a part 2. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like.